Now, the top 4 industries that you are participating are education, healthcare, retail. I don't have to tell you meat plants and what they mean to you, that you guys know that, manufacturing. So that's what you're participating. The average median income for an African immigrant is about 31,000. The average median income of the state is about 58,000, and the African is about 31,000. Now, of course, there are families that make about 15,000, and we know that. But this is just average median income. Next slide. Now, the growth has been phenomenal. Barbara Ronigan, who works for the State Demographic Office, that you will be hearing a lot about her because of the census that's coming. She said it. Basically, she says that the numbers of African immigrants and their children have doubled. They almost doubled since they came over here. And that was 1990s. That was not of early 2000. So that gives you really, that's a big number and growing number, and it will have eventually a cloud. Next slide, Dale. This is what I'm going to talk to you about. I wasn't even aware before we started doing some research. Look these numbers. This is the purchasing power of when you combine the African immigrants. That is the money that you have that you can buy. Look here. The Somalis has about 260 million purchasing power, followed by the Ethiopians, 203, Kenyan, and so on and so forth. That is a lot of money. 260 million is a lot of money. So that tells you that there are a lot of institutions that's interested to work with, partner with, do business with the African communities wherever they are at in the state of Minnesota. Next slide. In the United States, the African immigrants, not including the African American, the traditional African American community, just the African immigrants, it is about 45 billion purchasing power. And if you look at it, if you combine their income, it will be the 6th GDP, that's the gross domestic product, after Morocco. That tells you really that it is a large and growing community within the communities. And remember, the Africans are relatively new to the United States in big numbers. Next slide. I'm just going to show you a couple of slides about our organization. Next slide, Dale. Our mission is simply community economic development. We're not social service organization. What we do is business development. We do lending, we do training, we do home ownership training. I wish I could be here tomorrow, and I was planning to be here, but we are launching a new product we are calling New Markets Mortgage Product, which is Islamic financing for home ownership. Therefore, I could not be here tomorrow, but I wish I would be. So what we do is really that. We work within that community economic development. Our office in Minneapolis. We opened second office in Mankato, and we work 6 cities in the greater Minnesota, which I'm going to show to you quickly. Dale, if you just go on, I will tell you, just click, and I will tell you when to stop. I want to show some numbers, and then when I'm done, go. This all does not matter. Go. Yeah, if you go back one time. Businesses. 1994, there were no significant businesses to speak of in the state of Minnesota. And there are over 1,200 businesses in the state of Minnesota. The most amazing example is really that Abdiduh knows very well because that's his city. As you know that Wilmer has the 2 downtown, the old downtown and the main street before. The old downtown is really literally becoming a new American corridor, commercial corridor, due to the East African community and also the Latino community. It's happening in Mankato. It's happening in Marshall. It's happening in Rochester, definitely. So you would see really that this growth of businesses. Dale, if you go to the next slide. Of course, there are issues. I'm not going to dwell onto it. Hussein Farah is going to be here, but next slide, I want to show a couple of slides, and then we're done. Go to home ownership. If you go to the next slide. If you go to the next slide, the next slide. Yeah, look this number. This is my last slide. I'm going to show to you, then I will speak and stop. The one thing really that has been amazing about the African community is entrepreneurship. And you guys know that the United States of America is a market economy. where everybody knows to put something on the market. The African community, any city in Africa that you travel, you would see a couple of basic things. You will find church or a mosque, sometimes synagogue, and a market. So people knew about market before they came, and that's why you will see a lot of people want to get into. But if you look at this number, African Development Center's number, the amount of lending we do is only 2.3. We are the only ethnic organization in the state of Minnesota that could do lending. But our lending is only 2.3. The most of the money comes from the equity, meaning the money from the community, and it's 3.1, of course, the local other organizations. Let me highlight about how to respond to needs of new communities. If you look at the local government, the city of Minneapolis agreed a year ago, agreed to come up with us a new way of financing, Islamic financing, alternative financing, so the community can go to the city with us and get the loan that they need without compromising their faith, without touching an interest. And we are talking with the city of Mankato. Of course, we're going to talk with the city of St. Cloud, with the leadership of Mohammed, Abdidur, and Sharif, and all of you, to really make sure that the communities that need to access financing can access the way they like it. Now, there is no any different treatment. If you go the Islamic financing or you go conventional financing, you will pay the same amount of money. In this case, it will be profit-based. Other time will be, the other side would be interest-based. But the bottom line really that nobody is going to get a different treatment. It is not a special interest, but it's simply to allow people to access and respect their faith and access capital to do. My final comments. That was just some slides I wanted to share with you. Now, my final comments. I really hope that you will pay extreme attention to all day tomorrow, because it's really fascinating. And as far as I know, it's the first time that we, the people from the cities and the greater Minnesota and the rural communities, getting together to talk about law, economic development, housing, human rights, employment, health, education, and on and on. I would hope it will be taped. I hope we will definitely find ways to put online. But all of the whole thing I talked about tonight and all the discussion that you will be having is very simple. My remark tonight is really, really simple. Really that. It takes two to dance, or to tango as they call it. It takes us, the new arrivals, the new communities, the new Americans, understanding the culture, the environment within which we live in, and trying to do our best to educate ourselves, educate our children, get to work, and try our best as much as we can to make a difference in Minnesota. But also, it takes the institutions that have an impact. I'm just going to list some of them that have an impact on all of us, whether you have been here forever or if you are new, such as local governments, whether they are city or county, state level, federal level agencies, schools, businesses, health clinics, churches, legal aid, all of that, law enforcement. Also, they need to understand culture does matter. People's culture and how they think, who they are, their language do matter. Therefore, it is not enough organizations just to say we cannot provide the services. It's their self-interest to provide the services for the community. But also, the community needs to help its own organizations, such as SASO, such as Somali Relief, such as the organization that Abdidur is leading. If you don't help those institutions in the local communities, you're not going to succeed, because they know the community, they can organize it, they need it to be funded, they need it to be provided technical assistance so that they can make a difference. Of course, we all have to be accountable and transparent of the money that comes to in, how we use it. But without that help, you cannot definitely make a difference within the community. Thank you very much. It was my honor to be with you.